Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. My name's Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. How are we all doing today? I know it takes a while for people to find the room and to start tuning in. I see we've got some viewers coming in. Let me just get rid of this little pop-up there. I don't want that as a distraction. How are we doing today? A little bit fresh. I was going to put my short sleeve shirt on today, but a little bit fresh. So good morning, Catherine. Nice and sunny in Redditch. It's lovely and sunny here in Kent, but it's very fresh. So good morning, Jane. How are we doing? On secret stuff? There we go. Sound is good. So Stuart's in the room with you today. So if you've got any questions, but I can see we've got the lovely design team coming in as well. So if there's any questions, just ask away and I'll try and answer, or the lovely ladies from the design team are there to help as well. It's like having an extra pair of hands or 10 in the same room. Here comes everybody. Good morning, Jill. Lovely and sunny in West Berkshire. Oh, there we go, all popping up now. Lovely day in the Yorkshire Dales from Jacqueline. Mary, morning from Harvington. Good morning, Josie. There we go. Here you all come. Pull up a chair, put the heating on, put a blanket around you, gloves, whatever it is you need to, maybe a hot water bottle. Normally when I'm in the studio and I'm doing Groovi Tuesday, obviously you can't see, but normally I kick off my shoes and stuff because I find it more comfortable crafting without my shoes on. Weird, I know. But it is a little bit fresh in here this morning. So, so the shoes are on, jumper's on. I've had to sort of dangle the mic from there. I should have thought about the jumper when I got dressed this morning, but wasn't thinking that far ahead. So, so it's lovely to have your company again today. Another episode of Groovi Tuesday. We're on part 8 of the Linda's Christmas tree and stocking. We finished the Christmas tree off the week before last, and last week we started on Linda's stockings, so to speak. And it's really the designs. Let's have a look at the designs while everyone's pulling up a chair and getting warm. I really love these two particular designs from Linda because it doesn't matter what level of parting you're at, you'll get a beautiful result every single time. And so whether you're into your picot cutting, whether you're not, these are simplistic designs in style in relation to you can picot cut around the outside, but you can also cut out with a normal pair of scissors. And for both of these, we also have the coordinating card blanks that Mr. Dave creates on his big old platen presses. But these card blanks are great also for your stamping, Groovi, all different types of your stencils, even the dies. These will work great with some of our fresh cut aperture dies. So we have those to go with them as well. Let's have a look at what we did with the Christmas tree if you're tuning in for the first time. So this was the Christmas tree we created. I don't think we were one of the first to finish our Christmas trees. I've seen in the news that many people have got their trees up already. Christmas seems to be coming around far too quickly all of a sudden. I don't know where this year has gone. I mean, we're the 22nd of November? 22nd of November. Did I say November or December? Can't think. December is just around the corner. And where has this year gone? So this was the tree we created in episodes 1 through to 6, using the lovely card blanks as well from Dave. A little bit of picot cutting, and we layered this one up. So if you want to see how this is created, Then you can go back and watch episodes 1 through to 6 on that for the Christmas tree and stocking. But what we're doing is, I've just seen this card. I need to bring this card in from Francis. Same plate, different style. So you can use it direct onto your parchment, or you can do it as a shape card. The choices are there. And it's the same for the stocking that we started working on. This is the stocking that we're headed towards. Not necessarily with the name Joshua in it, but just shows about the personalization. We've got another one here from Linda Williams in blue. Lovely, isn't it? With the little toys sticking out the top. We've got one in pink. So great for newborn babies, not just for Christmas. It really isn't. This one, I love this one by Carol Pankstello. I think just using the toys, really clever. So we've got so much sort of versatility to, and then this one, this one from Josie. I love what Josie's done. She's taken the outline and infilled it with different designs. So it gives you that blank shape, so to speak, and then you can decide how you want to decorate it. And that's just a couple of different ideas from the design team. But as I say, we're heading towards this one. And if I deconstruct it for you, let me just bring it into play just to show how it's sort of made up. So we've got our beautiful teal parchment, and this is the bit we started on. This one's completed, but we're going to go in and finish off today. The outline, and we've left the heel and the toes and the stocking top blank. And then on a separate piece of parchment, we've got this part. Then we have the toe like so, and we've got the heel. And then if you wanted to, you could take a little bow with some bells on it. Now the difference between what Linda's done here in relation to, she's picot cut round all of those, and I didn't fancy that. So what I did was I put mine on there. Let me just bring that in. So seem to have another spammer in the room. They seem to like our Get Groovy. So let me just get rid of that with Stuart. There we go. Feel very popular having all these spammers coming in. I do apologise if you're tuning into YouTube. We will get rid of those for you now. But yeah, I decided to put the little baubles or the little tassels on here, and we're going to do them on this piece rather than on this piece and cut them out. But it's entirely up to you. You've got choices. Okay, but I thought I wouldn't end up with as many. Some of mine would be missing. So what we're going to need for this session, we're going to carry on. So I'll put the Christmas tree to one side. We're going to need our stocking plate. We're going to need our A5 calligraphy plate mate to hold our plate in place. Okay, make sure Groovy's in the top right hand corner. Then the piece we were working on last week, and this was using the light teal and the dark teal A5 parchment. Okay, that's what we've been using. Lovely two-tone teal. So you've got your dark and your light in there. So we've done the base on the light. We're going to need our Groovi tabs. We're going to need our number 1 and number 2 tool from the starter kit. We are going to need our Groovi guard and our tumble dryer just to refresh our work. So that's all we're going to need today to get started or to continue with our stocking journey. Who tuned into the Craftathon on Friday evening with Barb? That was a great evening. That gold work right towards the end, absolutely magical. It really was. I've got some sneaky peeks of the new. I'm going to call this Teasing Tuesday rather than Groovy Tuesday, because I've got some beautiful finished artwork to tease you with for the upcoming new and exclusive that launches at 4 p.m. on Thursday on Create and Craft. So Tina joined in. Who else joined in on Friday evening? It was a great evening. It really was. It was funny because Bob always texts me before and said, "Are you ready?" And I sent her a picture to show her I was ready. I was sitting up in the bedroom on the bed. I wonder if I can find that picture. Let me just have a look, see if I can show you. Okay, right, overhead camera. So this shows that I was ready for the craft. I wasn't crafting along, I was monitoring the room. And so this is what I was ready. I had my Jaffa cakes, I had cookies, I had Wotsits, I had coffee. So yeah, I was ready. And you know what? That was all gone within the first half an hour. So yeah, I was ready. But it was brilliant. So many tips and tricks. And if you missed it, Stuart, oh, I put my teeth in. Stuart can pop a link up to the craft along from Friday, because if you were busy that night, then you can always go back and watch it again and again and again. So yeah, we had some great fun. So, but yeah. So then we was in the shack with Barb yesterday, finishing off the Dahlia, darling. That was lovely. It just, the colouring and the shading just all of a sudden sort of lifted it. So if you're new to Groovy Tuesday or the Shack, then we have a full library of previous episodes on our YouTube page. So if you're looking to kill an hour or 10 or 20, then check it out, because there's so much on there. There really is. From the Shack, from Groovy Tuesday, Pergamano shows. There's then the loads of YouTube tutorials with the jelly plate, alcohol ink, stencils, dyes. There's hours and hours and hours of free tutorials. So yeah. Okay, I think I've waffled enough for people to join the party. So I think should we carry on? Are we ready to get in the groove? We limbered up. My hands are warm now. I've got my coffee. So, well, that's nearly gone. But I think we're good to go, aren't we? Right. Okay, let's come in on the overhead. I will zoom in a little bit once we get into position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition. I'm working on the back of my parchment. Let's just pop that to one side. That is now lined up. It's amazing how it slots back into place. Okay, so let's have a look. This is going to be held down there with my Groovi tabs. I've opened up some new ones for this morning. I know I've got one on my Groovi guard already. So what we're going to do now is we're going to concentrate and fill in the rest of the body of the stocking, and we're going to ignore the toe and the heel. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in a little bit now. So this is where I do my exercise now. Stretch up. And which way am I going? I need to come in this way. Look, I've got this little note to say which way I need to slide the slider. And you know what? I still get it wrong sometimes, even though when I look at it. So we're going to zoom in. There we go, I reckon. Whee! Don't want to come in too close so it goes all funny. There we go. Ooh, this chair needs oiling, just like me. Okay, so we're going to take our Groovi guard. Now, when we was tracing out the outline of the stocking, we used the number 1 ball tool. When we did the little dangly bits, I went with the number 3 ball tool so that I could get a really nice soft line on there. Okay, and then for the little dots, we're going to use the number 2 tool. If I remember rightly, didn't I do some cheating last week? I mean, not cheating. I did the hearts, didn't I? By doing that rather than... I remember now. And I didn't get into trouble. So that's a good thing. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on. I think it's either that time of year or the eyes are just getting worse. Right, well, that's better. Okay, so now, was it? No, it's the number 1, wasn't it? The number 1. There we go. So I'm going to use the number 1 tool and I'm just pressing into those dots and just giving a little wiggle. I see Mr. Cracker Joke is in the building. Good morning, Ken. Zoom classes with exercise class with zoom in, zoom out. Whoa, there you go. And now we're going to do a little bit of wiggling as well. We'll do a good wiggle, can't we? So all I'm doing is pushing into those dots and just giving a little wiggle. There we go. And it doesn't take long to build up the designs. I really love the effect that these little sequence of dots give. It's very it's quite Nordic. It's quite sort of cross stitch type of effect, but it's very effective. I mean, you can see it just all of a sudden just appearing, can't you? See, and that also is the beauty of the parchment, the Groovi plate, and using the right tool. So if you want to, if you didn't want to include those little pyramid parts, you can exclude them. See, I can just go along. So if you wanted just a row, then you could do that as well. Flexibility, it really is. And when you work with designs from Linda and Tina and Josie and Barbara and Jazz, it flows throughout the whole of the Groovi system in relation to be able to have that flexibility, whether you're brand new to parching or you've been doing it a long time. So, did anyone watch Tina at the weekend on Saturday? She was on Create and Craft with some of her beautiful designs. Always learn so much. You think you sort of know it, and then you watch sort of like Tina work her magic, and you think, oh, I love that layout. Or, oh, I didn't think about doing it that way. But really beautiful artwork that she created. Which one of the plates she was using? I can't remember. Because she was on Thursday on the Pergamano show. And then she was back on again on Saturday at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So I know she was on with Catherine in the morning. And then Yanis, no, in the morning at 1 o'clock. In the afternoon, she was on with Catherine. And then she was on with Yanis. I'm sure that was Saturday. The weekend just seems such a long time ago. I know we're only on Tuesday, but yeah. Oh, that's right. Tina had the her beautiful flowers from the Keep It Simple range. Those lovely little set of A6 plates with the little spacers. Really nice. So if you I know in the 1 o'clock show, Tina kept it simple by just taking the plates exactly how they came in relation to the design layout. And then during the 1 o'clock show, she did a little bit of picot cutting. That's right. Yeah, Tina is magic. She can turn flowers into butterflies. I know. Very clever. See, it's thinking outside the box, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was really magical, doing that. So, okay, so we've got little reindeers. Go on, Ken. Throw your joke in about the reindeers. We need some Christmas cracker jokes. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Ken's got plenty of those. I think Ken should come out of retirement. Oh dear. And sometimes just tuning in to watch sort of like the Groovi shows and the Clarity shows. So like Groovi, Pergamano, Clarity. Even though you may already have the product, sometimes it's nice to have a different twist on it, isn't it? That maybe sort of may kickstart any inspiration that's sort of gone AWOL. Got to stop keep saying but I think, yeah, just tune in, even if you've got them, because there's always plenty of tips and tricks and techniques to be had. So, and they were Tina's last shows for this year. She's not back until next year now. So we've got a couple of upcoming shows this week on Create and Craft. We've got the final installment of the new and exclusive from Linda Williams, set number 5, together with, for those of you that were in the craft along on Friday, Barb gave a sneaky peek of the A4 Advent Christmas Treasures plate. Magical, really is. So we've got set 5 of the Christmas Treasures from Linda Williams. And then we've got the lovely Advent calendar as well. So that's Thursday at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Create and Craft. And then the following morning at 8 a.m. And then straight after the 8 a.m. show, it's part of the Create and Craft Black Friday event. We've got some super deals on some of our best loved, is that the right sort of word? Favorite fresh cut dies. We've got a selection of flowers and Christmas on there. And Barbara and I are going to sort of jump between demos on that one. So Barb will do one, I'll do one, Barb will do one, I'll do one. See how many we can get done in an hour. So that'll be interesting. See if the cameras can keep up. I'm sure they can. They're a great team at Create and Craft. So that will be good. Must remember not to go into this area or this area. I get carried away. So I'm still using the number 1 tool to do these tiny little dots. But I mean, look at that tiny little snowflake. All of a sudden it appears like magic. Really does. Magical. And these snowflakes, they won't melt. They're there forever. Little one down here. So you could just take the little snowflakes and infill a border or a frame. There's so many different choices to be had. It really is. So I just love these, like the little chevron type snowflakes. So we're nearly done on this one. It doesn't take long. Has anybody done a stocking yet and completed it? Haven't had a chance to check out Groovi Worldwide lately to see whether anyone's posted any stockings or trees. So apologies for that. But I'm sure some of you have. I'm sure some of you have been sharing your beautiful artwork. So we're just going to finish this little one off here. And I'm still with the number 1 tool. There we go. And then I'm just going to finish off this little row here. Now this time I've swapped over to the number 2 tool. And we're just going to wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. More exercises. Wiggle those little dots. There we go. See, this reminds me, what was that game? Oh, Jacks. That's what they remind me of. Remember that ones where you used to throw up in there and bounce the ball and have to pick up? Show my age now. You had to pick up 1, then you had to pick up 2. I'm sure there was various different rules for that. Okay. So that is the main part of the stocking finished. Okay, right. Okay, let's stand up. More exercising. Stand and stretch and zoom out. There we go. So there we have the outline of our stocking filled in with the detail. Now to me, this little row of deers seem a little bit more whiter than those ones. And I reckon last week I was using the number 2 tool, and this week I've used the number 1 tool, and it's given me a crisper white line. So it's all about having choices. Okay, so we're gonna, oh, this chair. So we're gonna pop this to one side now. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take a piece of the dark teal parchment. If I bring in a white piece of card, just bear with, or a white piece of paper, so you can see the difference. So there is the light teal, and here is the dark teal. Okay, so we're doing sort of 2-tone, like Linda has created here, where we've got the light teal in the background and the darker teal on the top. Now, do you remember I said last week about the right side and the wrong side of the parchment? One side's more shinier than the other. Now, on this one, we can definitely see the difference between, I wonder if I come in on this camera. So you can see you've got that, look, that lovely focus, sheen. And then when we turn it over, it's more of a matte finish. So what that means is that when we're tracing out the next parts, we need to have the shiny side face up. Okay. And again, if you're not sure what is the right side or the wrong side, then Let me show you. I'm going to go on the wrong side. Let me just wipe that with the tumble dry sheet. Okay. So if I take one of these little baubles here and I trace out a little circle. Okay, so it's white on this side, so I know instantly that I'm on the wrong side. But when I turn that over, see, I've just got a muted white. Well, it's the same tone really as the parchment. Okay, so shiny side up. Let's just move this out of the way so we can wipe our parchment. Okay, there we go. And now what we're going to do, says picking everything up, is we're going to trace out the top of the stocking, the toe, and the heel. But we're not going to keep our parchment in one place. We're going to do the top first, then we're going to move it down, and we're then going to do the heel and the toe. Okay, 2 for 2. Well done, Ken. But should we have a sneaky peek first? Since it is Teasing Tuesday, I'm going to rename Groovy Tuesday to Teasing Tuesday. Or see if you can come up with a different name for Teasing Tuesday, because it doesn't. Or Tuesday Teases. I'm sure Ken can come up with something. Yeah, see if you can come up with a name. Tantalizing Tuesday. Sounds a little bit risque, doesn't it? So do you want to have a sneaky peek? No, you don't want to see what's coming up on Thursday? No? Tempting Tuesday. Oh, I like that one, Sally. Tempting Tuesday. Should we carry on, or should we have a sneaky peek? Can't see any requests in the chat there. I think you've all fallen asleep. Tempting Tuesday. Yep, another one there. Definitely time for a teaser or two. Yeah, oh, there's one yes. Go on then. Just so that I know I'm not in the room on my own. I mean, I can see we've got many viewers. You don't have to partake with the chat if you don't want to. Sally wants a sneaky peek. Chris wants a sneaky peek. Oh, I like that one, Jane. The Tuesday Temptation. Sounds like a feature film, doesn't it? Yes, please. Yes, sneaky peek, sneaky peek. All right, then, since you asked so nicely. I've got them all. I don't know where to start, but we'll go with the plates first. Okay. Right, so this collection is called We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Okay, so we're going to go to the overhead. And so we have our like all of our different Christmas treasure sets, they all come with a nested carol verse. So this one is We Wish You a Merry Christmas. You've got these lovely little sort of snowflakes. You've got the We Wish You a Merry Christmas. You can sing if you want, but I don't know if I'm allowed to sing it. I'll get into trouble. So that is plate number 1. Okay. Plate number 2 is Wish Upon a Star. Now this can be used throughout the year. I love these. Imagine just doing all 4 of them to create a beautiful frame. The stars, just magical. Any time of the year. And when we go back to the frame, so I'm teasing you more, the frame can be used, you just don't put the sentiment in there at Christmas. And they all work with our Pico square dies as well. So double bubble, so to speak. Then we have the next one. I love this. Snowflakes are angels' kisses. Swirling, fluttering, floating, filled with wishes of love, gently sent from above. Love that. And I love this as well. So that's the next one. Then this one, this is great. Happy New Year, dance, party, and you've got numbers on there as well. So you can put Happy New Year 2023, 2024. You want to go backwards to 2021. Personalization. This make a lovely prom dress. You've got the handbag, you've got the shoes, but you've also got 2 frames. And that would be easy to continue the frame to make it complete. So you can drop out the bag if you want to. Then the final one in the collection is the Twinkle, Sparkle, Glitter and Shine. Look at these lovely little corners, the frame itself. I'm sure that could be something else if you got a little bit creative. Yeah, it could, couldn't it? If I didn't put the candles in. Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's set 5 of the treasures. So let me show you some artwork from the design team. Okay, so this piece here is from the Losi, the lovely Josie Davidson. That wasn't lousy Josie Davidson. That was a cross between lovely and Josie. Losi, a new word. And Josie has used that gold technique that Barb was showing off in the craft along on Friday evening. Next piece is from the lovely Glynis. I think the monochromatic in these designs work really, really well. Okay, then the next one is from Karen Jackson. So Karen has used the Pico plate to do her borders. She's actually cut out by hand. Different tones of parchment, and then this lovely piece in the middle. Really nice. Okay, then the next one is from Francis, Queen of the Gold. Look at that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it just, I mean, look at this. Those little, where's the plate go? See, look, when you look at the plate and then you look at what Glynis has done, Francis has done, she's taken the corners, look, one corner there and one corner, so it creates like a stand. Very clever. What's the next one underneath? And then the next one is from Carol Baker, using that lovely frame. And Carol's actually infilled it with a different pattern. Where's that frame gone? See? So Karen's infilled it with a completely different pattern that's on the plate. Okay. Excuse me. Right, I'm just flicking because I couldn't remember how far we'd got. So then we have the A4 Advent. Rather than readjust the camera, I'm going to slide this up. So this is an A4 plate, and what it's done, it's taken elements from each of the Christmas treasure sets. So this was from the first set. This is from the second set. Then moving up, this is from the third set. This was taken from the last month's set. Okay. Then look, the little chandelier, that's from the current set. Little hat, look at that. That lovely corner. Oh look, you've got it even smaller as well. And then you've got these lovely little sort of circular greetings. With love and best wishes at Christmas. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Peace, joy, and sweet content be yours. Health and happiness always. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the A4 plate. And Brother Steve and the team in Groovi production are going like mad making these. So let's have a look. So this piece now is from Glynis. No, Glynis? Let me just check. Yeah, from Glynis. See, these 4 individual little cards. If you're looking for quick and easy cards at Christmas, then just one of these little toppers on a card, and that could be a birthday. Really nice. So that was Glynis. Another one from Josie. Love this one. Really nice. And it's just using the squares. Very clever. And then the final sneaky peek is from Francis. And Francis has used one of Linda's easy layout plates. Look at that. Oh, it's just magical. It really is. Real. I don't know why I'm turning it like that because it comes upside down. But look at that. And then if I hold it to the camera so you can see, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Look at all that gold. So, that launches with Barb at 4 o'clock on Create and Craft, and then it's available on our website from Saturday 9 a.m. onwards. Because with the new and exclusive, we make it exclusive to TV for a short period of time. So I hope you can tune in. Barb's got some fantastic demos lined up at 4 o'clock and at 8 o'clock from Linda Williams. And then at 8 in the morning, I've got a demo from Linda as well. Stock permitting. So we shall see what happens. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, enough of the tempting Tuesday. Let's get back to our stocking. Let's get back to the matter in hand. So I'm using the dark teal now, and I'm going to use my Groovi tabs. And we're now just going to trace out the darker elements of our stocking. Okay. I think I gave it a wipe, but if in doubt, go again. Okay. Number 1 tool. And all we're going to do now is just trace the top part of the stocking. Okay. Now, when it comes to the design on here, it's entirely up to you. If you want to use the design that Linda's already provided for us, then that's fine. In the finished sample, she's used one of our other plates to personalize it. Or there was another lovely sample that I saw. Where was that one? Yeah, this one from Josie. She's taken the star or the snowflake and popped that in there. Okay, so it's entirely up to you what you want to pop in there. And I reckon just for ease, I'm going to go with the design that's on the plate. Okay. So I'm going to take the number 1 tool and I'm just going to continue with the pattern. Okay. Just like so. So what else have we got coming up this week? So we've spoken about the TV show. Oh, yes. We have our Grey Friday event kicking in at midnight on Thursday. With up to 50% on selected lines. Sound like a promo now, don't I? Club discounts on top as well. So if you belong to the clubs, any of our clubs, you'll get your relevant discount as well. Okay, so that is the top of the stocking. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the, sorry, just just move that down so it's easier for me to move the plate than to resume the camera. And then what we're going to do now is we want the toe and the heel. So let's pop that. I'm going to leave enough space away from there, just in case I decide I want to pico cut rather than cut out with a normal pair of scissors. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trace out, where's my Groovi card? Trace out the toe, like so. And we're going to do the same little dotty lines. I'm not going to do this area here because that's on the base. Anastasia, do you ship to the USA? We do indeed. We ship worldwide. So that's not a problem at all. So whereabouts in the USA are you, Anastasia? Sorry, all tongue-tied today. So there we go. So we're going to trace out there, just like so. Just like so. See, I like this zigzag effect. You can just put that on if you want. It's all about choice. Now for these little circles, do I want to do white work? If I want to do some white work, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my number 3 tool. And I'm going to trace out those circles with the number 3 tool. Just like so. Okay. And what that's going to do, it's going to give me a softer line so that the little baubles look more natural. Okay. So if I lift that up now, can you see that we can barely see it? And put a bit of white paper underneath. You can't even see it, it's even worse. So it's very, very soft. There we go. That's it, better that way. You can really see the difference now between the crisp white line using the number 1 tool and using the number 3 tool to do those little circles. Okay. So then back to my number 1 tool. And we're going to put the second row of faux stitching in. There we go. Come over a little bit so it's more central to your screens. There we go. You just follow the little faux stitching all the way around. Probably the quickest stitching I've ever done. And we're going to do the little crosses, which is made up of little dots. Love these. Yeah. Round and round. See, if you go too fast and you jump out, then nothing happens. So, just like so. Stuart, would you like to put a link up to Anastasia watching on YouTube, I think? Underneath the video, Anastasia, there's a link to our website, which is claritycrafts.com. You'll be able to find all the information about shipping to the USA, all our lovely products. Finds out all about our craft clubs that we do as well. So yeah, I'm not sure Stuart can pop the link up on YouTube, but I know, say underneath the video that you're watching, there will be some links to our website. Okay, so let's have a look. So these are little crosses now. Okay. Or kisses. Kisses sound nicer than crosses. Just like so. And it doesn't take long, it really doesn't. I mean, I'm going a little bit slower than I normally would, because it's not a race, is it? And we're all crafting together. Well, I think we're all crafting together. Is anyone doing the stocking at the same time? Or you're all stockinged out? Okay, and then we've got the final bit of the toe. These lovely little dots. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going with the number 1 tool on here. Let me do all of it in the number 1 tool. These dots are bigger. Okay, so I know when I turn this over, they're sort of like dots, but they're a circle, if that sort of makes sense. But what I want to do on a separate piece of this parchment, I want to show you the difference by using the number 1 tool and the number 2 tool in these particular dots. Okay, because believe it or not, you can get 2 different looks from it. Okay. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart's just let me know that he's put a link for you, Anastasia, on our YouTube channel. I will warn you now, Anastasia, it is very addictive. Once you get in the groove, it is so addictive. I mean, we've got a room full of people that come back week on week. So I'm sure they will all agree how addictive it is. Okay, right. So let me just show you something now. Let's turn this over and you can see I've got the toe. But what I want to do, let me just do it in this area just to show you the difference. Okay, so I'm going to do this with the number 1 tool, just like I have on my main piece. Okay, I'm going to do it. And then this one I'm going to do with the number 2 tool. Okay, and because the number 2 tool is a larger ball, I'm going to get a different look, I reckon. Could be talking rubbish here. Yeah, no, there is a difference. Let me get a piece of black card. Okay, so let me see if I bring this up now. So you can see this one here was done with the number 1 tool, and this one here is done with the number 2 tool. And what you'll notice is that they're like, you know, when we're doing a dot and we don't want to get the donut effect, these little, I'm going to try and come in as close as I can. These have all got the donut effect because they're rings rather than dots. But if you want to turn them into the dots, then you would trace out with the number 2 tool. Okay, and when you trace out the number 2 tool, I'll just show you. I'm going to move that to all fingers and thumbs. Let me take the black mat, which is soft on the reverse. Okay, definitely need my glasses for this. So even on here, you can see the difference in the brightness. We're on the back now. Okay, so this is the number 1 tool. This is the number 2 tool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm sighing to myself because I know how heavy-handed I am, and I'm going to go through. Let me take a bit extreme. I've got an A3 poly bag here, but the poly bag underneath will make a difference. So all I'm going to do now is just give a little wiggle within this is the number 2, and I'm using the number 2 tool. Okay. See, who says Groovi wasn't a good exercise sport? We've been wiggling, we've been up and down. I've been going around the bend. Okay, so this side is the number 2, and then this side is number 1. And instantly I can feel I'm putting the same pressure on. This side is weaker than that side in relation to the strength of the parchment. Because I've used the number 1 tool, it stretched the parchment more. Okay, so let's turn this over. Yeah, see, it really does. Ooh, I know it just seems like a series of white dots. Number 1, number 2. Okay, so when I bring this up, I need to take these glasses off. Sorry, I'm going a bit. So number 1, number 2. Still bright, but I've still got that dot in the middle. I know it's hard to see, but it's definitely there. Whereas on this one, there isn't. Okay. So if you want to do the toe as little dots, then I would suggest you go with the number 2 tool rather than the number 1 like I've done. But for ease, I'm just going to leave it as the number 1 because it works either way. It depends how much time you want to invest in the project. If you want to just take the plate exactly as it comes, the number 1 tool, just trace everything out because the line art speaks for itself. And when you use the coloured parchment, whether it be the rainbow parchment, the solid colours, the designer parchment, the job is done. It really is. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, you'll get a beautiful result, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been doing it for years and years and years. Okay. So let's go back and we'll just do the heel on this one. Okay. So, oh, that was something I wanted to tell you about. So let me just bring that in because we just want the heel now. So making sure I'm on the back. Don't forget to check out Barb's blog this week because Barb's sort of doing a once upon a time story about all things clarity. So yesterday, it was rolling back the years to when clarity first started. The idea of see-through stamps with brother Steve in California. So it was a great blog post yesterday. So I'm sure Stuart could pop a link up to the blog. And then today, it's all about stencils and the reason why Barbara decided to venture into the stencil market. Then tomorrow, it will be the story of Groovi. And then finally on Thursday, it will be the fresh cut dies. I mean, some of you may already be familiar with the reasons and the story behind how clarity has grown over the years with the different product ranges. But some of you may be new to you. And Barb, it's always an interesting read, the blog. And Barb said to me the other day, I'm going to move the Mac from the studio above the garage into the house. She said, because I want to be able to blog more. She said it's a lot warmer in the house than it is in the studio above the garage. So there's been some great blogs over the last couple of days. The lovely little mitten hats and gloves cards, stamping cards. The alcohol ink. That was lovely. And Barb showed that off in Shack yesterday. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? How sort of just a little bit of play and experimentation, what you can come up with. Okay, so I've now swapped. I'm still on the number 1 tool. Will we get this finished before 11 o'clock? Yeah, we can go over, can't we? Nobody's in a rush to go anywhere, are you? It's probably warmer inside than it is outside. So, love these little, they're not tendrils, what would you call them? They're like the arms or the legs of a snowflake. Okay, legs of a snowflake or arms of a snowflake? Or have they got a different name? I'm sure somebody will tell me. Probably not legs or arms at all, is it? Doesn't they look like little legs and arms? Does anyone know? Is it legs of a snowflake or arms? No, it's probably going to be a technical. So, excuse me. Right, so I'm going to stick with the number 1 tool on this one. Okay. And we're almost done for today. So we've now got a week to decide whether we want to picot cut or not to picot cut. What do you reckon? To picot or not to picot? That sounds like another book, doesn't it? Right? To be or not to be? I mean, it's Shakespeare. To picot or not to picot? Twigs? They could be twigs, Mary. All about artistic license. Okay, right, let's move these out of the way. I knew we'd get that done in time. I didn't, but hey ho. Right, let's just bring these in so we can see. So I'm going to zoom out now. More exercises. And stretch. And zoom out. Okay. So on the light till, no, it's the wrong one. Oh, I'm thinking that looks a bit empty. There we go. So we've got on the light till, we've got the main body of our stocking. I mean, that still works beautifully as it is. And then on the darker till, we've got the toe, the heel, and the top. So I reckon next week we'll picot cut. But before we do picot cutting next week, there's a little bit of white work required in these little tassels, baubles, whatever you want to call them, across the top, which you can't even see. But if I bring the plate in, where's the plate gone? You won't see it on the white, you've got no chance. Hang on. Slide it over, Mr. Church. Okay, so we've got these little baubles, tassels, dangly bits, whatever you want to call them. We'll do some white work on those, which are there. And then on the toe, we'll do some white work in there as well. Okay. And we will then look at introducing some colour. Because if you look at the piece that Linda's created, let me bring this up a little bit closer. Whee! Sorry, too quick. See the colour behind the heart on the trees? And there's colour in the toe as well. So next week, we'll do white work. Pom-poms, that's it, Karen. I couldn't think of the word. So next week, we'll do some white work and we'll do some colouring. And then I reckon the week after, we can decide whether we're going to picot or not to picot. That is the question. So thank you, as always, for joining me again this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Welcome to all of our new visitors. I hope it's given you some ideas and inspiration. Don't forget Thursday, Create and Craft, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Then Friday, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And don't forget that the Grey Friday event kicks off at midnight on Thursday. So if you need to renew your club, now's the time to renew. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Take care now. Thanks ever so much, everyone. And thank you for Stuart for helping out in the room. Take care now. Bye-bye.